Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us at the market site in Times Square, New York City, we have Bjorn Sibbern. He's the president of European markets over at Nasdaq. We're going to take a look at Nasdaq's sustainable bond network, improving transparency in ESG bonds. Bjorn, it's great to have you back with us at market site. Now, ESG, it's a topic that has had a lot of significance in Europe. It's gaining traction in the U.S. Nasdaq leveraging that leadership that you've built in the Nordic region. How is that expanding globally?
So first of all, in Stockholm, it's mainly out of Stockholm, but also in the Nordics, we have had leadership on ESG for quite many years. It has been high on the radar, both for issuers, but also from investors. And when I say investors, it's not only institutional investors, it's actually also retail investors that want transparency, want to look at ESG from an investing point of view. What we're trying to do, we are trying to leverage Nasdaq's leading position in technology, leading position around data. And what we're trying to do is launch a platform where it is possible for investors to find data around sustainable bonds. So basically creating transparency around sustainable bonds.
All right, now Nasdaq taking on this role as an exchange operator within the ESG space. Why is that important for the sustainable bond network?
So ESG is here to stay. It will just become bigger and bigger in the future. I would claim Europe is probably 1 or 2 years ahead versus US. There's a big demand for transparency around ESG, around sustainable bonds, investings. So for us, this is natural that we want to take what we have built in the Nordics into US and actually launch it as a global concept, basically to make more transparency for investors around the globe.
All right, now, is this just a trend, or do you think it is more sustainable and will be something that we'll be talking about in 10 years?
It is for sure sustainable. So the way I look at it is, in 10 years' time, you will have investors looking at ESGs as something they do when they look at a share. They will not just only look at how the share has performed when they consider investing. They will also look at the ESG score as a natural thing. That will be a part of the future. So all companies in 10 years' time need to be aware, need to spend a lot of time reporting on the ESG scores, simply because that's a clear investor demand, both from institutional investors, but also from retail investors.
All right, now prior to heading up European markets for Nasdaq, you ran global information services. From a data perspective, how important is it when it comes to reporting on sustainability and ESG?
So the data company is crucial. I think that's one of the challenges we have around ESG today. There are so many reports, so many data points. There's no standardization, no clear standardization. So from an investor point of view, but also from a company point of view, it is a little bit difficult to maneuver around ESG because there are so many requests, so many standards. So I think what we need in the future is more standardization around ESG scores, ESG data. That's where I feel Nasdaq plays a very important role. We have been leader on gathering data, distributing data around equity trading, fixed income, commodities. We will try to see if we can find a similar way of trying to standardize ESG data and of course make sure that's something we distribute to investors around the globe.
All right, thanks so much for joining me at Market Site. And thank you for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.